And welcome back to Changeling the Dreaming Dustbowl Blues. It is time for back-to-back Changeling champs, as I am running 2 games in a row. How wild, how crazy.
I don't even run 2 games.
I had to miss a Monday last month, and so now I have made up by running 2 games in a row. And here we are. Chaz, why don't you give the audience a quick recap as we wait for people to funnel in?
So you know Chaz sound from Berlin now, so.
Can you hear me now? Good. Some reason.
You can start the recap over, Chaz.
When I updated OBS, my mic was muted. What are... Like, some of this has to be my fault. Statistically, something I've done had to lead to this in some sort of, like, butterfly effect scenario. But damned if I know what it is. Last time, on Changeling the Dreaming, I exited the racist hoedown. I waited in the parking lot with Krudar so he could make the car fly, while Enva infiltrated the rich guy's library and found a secret safe and stole a letter that I will probably get blamed for. Adam completely missed the plot. Adam completely missed the plot thread, and Tom found the plot thread but refused to share it with him.
Yep, as Tom would do it.
Also, apparently, the person that wrote the letter and is in charge of deporting the native not white people population, yeah, that's a thing that the rich people are doing, is deporting the not white people, is an old acquaintance of Tom's. I can't wait to see where that story goes this session. Did I miss anything salient, Josh?
No, but just to elaborate on a few points, the thing that Melinda overheard when she was going through the house of one Mr. Abelard Vanderberg was that it seems that him and the owner of the bank are trying to seize properties as quickly as they can in order to consolidate the land which the oil is under. And it seems they are getting desperate to be rid of some of the other native populations as quickly as possible and are debating going into some underhanded methods to do so.
You know what I've realized? You ever watch like a movie critique or something, or like a review, and they criticize because this bad guy, his motivation is he's doing it for money, but he's already super rich. That happens all the time. People will fuck you over for more money because it's Tuesday.
Yeah, people don't seem to understand rich people sometimes, and that when the amount of money that is enough is, there is never enough.
And that's the reason Amazon Sama is
Amazon Sama Jeff Bezos.
Yeah, so that way you have to treat him as a god. He's doing this his own Twitch. So he's literally our god right now.
Hi, Van Morrison.
I don't care. I'll still talk shit on Bezos.
Hi, Valerius.
Yeah, but what if he one day?
I doubt he's paying attention.
Oh, I mean, absolutely. But I know that there are some people that would call me a hypocrite because I stream on Twitch and I'm published on Kindle, and I still dare to speak out about Jeff Bezos. First of all, Amazon produces nothing. They take a cut of what we make. And second of all, I think it would be more hypocritical of me to not speak out about them just because they were providing me services.
Yes, and the building that Adam infiltrated was called the New American Church of Life, run by a Miss Mary Gold. And it seems as though that, despite claiming to write her own sermons, it seems as though she was having somebody else write them.
Fuck, Kyle's got the ring. Can I take that back from him real fast?
What's up?
Kyle has the ring. Can I take that back from him real fast?
I will say simply because he is not here and you guys were all together, I will say yes.
Okay.
And I will say the night has passed. Who thinks they wake up first? There's no vampire rule, so whoever decides that their character gets up at 3:30 in the morning to do calisthenic exercises.
I feel like Hutch
my
is...
toes, but that's till like 9. That's
Paul Tinkerton wakes up at 9 a.m. Who's waking up before that?
I feel like Hutch probably gets up pretty early in the morning just out of... what's the word I'm looking for? I'm forgetting a lot of words today. Am I having like early onset Alzheimer's or something? Just out of like responsibility, out of tradition, out of obligation. There we go. A sense of obligation.
Could be a stroke.
I think current studies actually show that Alzheimer's starts to develop in your 30s or 40s.
Hey! What do you know, guys?
By the time you get to elderly age is when you start showing symptoms, and then it's too late to do anything about it. Potentially. But there's more research or whatever happening about that, so I'm not a doctor.
I'm doctor in handwriting, but not a doctor.
Excellently put, Adam. We'll say Hutch wakes up first at the break of day, as you wake up probably soaking in your own sweat in a dusty hotel room that hasn't been cleaned in a couple of months to a year. As those first rays of sunlight start peeking into the bedroom, what is Hutch's plan for the day?
Well, I really need to do something about this hotel, but that is of secondary importance. He is going to attend the sermon at the New American Church of Life today. So, first order of business is getting ready and rounding up anybody that wishes to come with.
Okay, what time do you think Hutch wakes up? Well, like break of day, probably summer. It's probably like 5:30 when the sun starts coming up.
I feel like he's probably the kind of guy that gets up around like 6. Like he's not the crack of dawn, salt of the earth kind of guy, but he's the guy that needs to get shit done. Does he know when the sermon starts? Like 10 o'clock is like the standard church time now, I think, but was it that back then?
Wait, I'm sorry, you cut off a little bit.
What time does church start?
I will say probably like at 8 or 9.
That is early as fuck. Okay, it's a Thursday.
Those church sermons happen early, Chaz. I don't know the last time you stepped into a church without igniting into ashes, but some of those people like to show up early. I'll say 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock is probably more reasonable.
15.
I think
about 16 years ago. Sorry, go ahead.
I think even now, like, sermons start super early, because when I was working retail on Sundays, like, everyone came in, like, around 8 o'clock, like, after church, so I think they even start as early as 7 in some places.
The last time I actually paid attention to that when I was 8 living in Arizona, and, like, all the churches held mass at, like, 10, so that's just kind of what I internalized.
That's nutty. That's
Well,
late.
I think Sunday, they need to wait for the sun to need to cool off for the sun in Arizona. Am I dead?
Okay,
Yeah, there he goes.
Yusuf! We're working on it. Okay, yeah. I'll get up at 6. 2 hours should be enough. Can't wait to see how this backfires. Oh, hey! The tire is still flat! And the guy who can fly the car isn't here! That's how. We're driving to church on a hubcap.
I mean, you could always walk. It is quite literally down the street from you on Main Street.
Okay, fair enough.
I got a parasol, I can walk.
But the sun's so hot.
Yeah, well, parasol provides shade.
Well, yeah, Von Morrison. Everybody knows it's only the holy water that catches fire.
So who is going to?
There knows, thanks, buddy.
Time. There's probably like a sermon happening at 8 and another one happening at 10. But actually, back then I don't think they would have done that. I think that around this time they probably would have had one long ass 2 to 4 hour mass kind of thing. Well, not mass because they're not Catholic.
That's the devil's religion.
I always thought it was funny when people were like, I am a Christian, not a Catholic, as if they were two separate things, which to some evangelical people they very much are. They don't think Catholicism is Christianity, but I always thought that was a funny, weird thing people did.
Legitimately, when I was growing up, I thought they were two separate things too, and I was on the other side of that. Although my family were pretty lapsed Catholic, so maybe I just didn't know any better, but...
So you wake up early, you got a few hours before you're going to head out. Is there anything that Hutch plans to do in those brief early morning Texas summer hours before he goes to church?
Nothing in particular at the moment. I think the wheels that need to be in motion are in motion. I probably need to talk to Kazaa at some point, but that is, whenever that happens, whenever he wakes up.
But I am sleeping at him. No.
I guess I'm making up second then. Probably go with.
All right.
That I'm going to be sleeping in.
So Eleanor wakes up. Is there anything Eleanor does as part of her morning routine before? Where are you going to be sitting waiting for your motley, Hutch?
Once I'm ready, I suppose in the lobby of the hotel. Wow, you are like a teacher. I feel like there's a right answer and I'm getting it wrong.
I told you.
It's my years of training.
We just need Josh with his glasses and him holding like a ruler or one of those like pointy sticks. I forget what they're called. The pointers.
Is it a laser pointer? Yeah, it's a laser pointer here.
No, we don't need me dressing like a teacher and having weird people asking me to give them you've been a naughty student talk or something while I'm streaming.
I mean, if you choose to wear the skirt, that's on you.
That could be your thing, Josh. Yes. I can sleep on stream. You get to teach on stream.
Oh my god, that would be amazing. We could have like tip thresholds. How do you feel about having Sensei punish the chat, Josh?
Hot.
That will take some creative thought put forth into it. So what's like the little idle thing that Hutch does while he's waiting?
Probably fidgeting with his tie. I imagine, growing up in Texas, his whole life he's probably wearing like a bolo.
So Eleanor, as the sun peeks through the boarded windows of your hotel room and you wake up, is there anything special you do as your cat is kind of like stretching and yawning out on the bed?
Does this place have like a tub to like bathe? Because it's fucking hot and gross.
I will say it probably has a tub. It probably doesn't. I know it doesn't have running water. I specifically told Adam that.
Boo.
That is one of the things that Adam was given as things that this hotel probably needs fixed.
Daestra, thanks, buddy. Is that directed at Mai or Josh?
Okay, yeah, I was gonna ask, who's that directed at? Who is the nya for? Is it for Adam or is it for me?
Well, for Josh, or is
or is it for Josh now?
We got a hype stream going nice. I've never seen that before in Catholic.
Oh, hey.
Josh now.
I don't, yeah.
Yeah.
But that is as close as you'll get. But yes, it is hot, it is sweaty, and it is sticky, Eleanor. And there is no running water.
That's gross.
Hey, Death God, thanks for following. Welcome, buddy.
Death God, hi! That is one of my viewers. Hello.
The God of Death. Yeah.
Is there like a way for me to like get water into the tub? Like, there's not like a...
If you have some kind of magical means of generating water, possibly, but otherwise, water would have to be ran back into the plumbing system.
Bruh. Is there a way for me to get water? I don't remember what I have.
You have autumn, don't you?
I do.
Do you have nature?
I do.
Then maybe.
Autumn and nature, I don't think there's going to be anything that generates water. You might have a power that can dry up water.
Yeah, if not, that's fine. But I'm wondering if these let me do it.
Yeah, despite your desire for modern amenities, a bath every day was not a reality for people of this time period.
True story.
God, that wasn't even 100 years ago. Like, we like to think we've come so far, but really the distance between there and here is that in the grand scheme of things.
Effective, hello. Hi, Yusuf.
Effective Gnome, how's it going? Welcome back.
Hello, hello. I'm trying to find if anything, or where my magics are, because I'm having a hard time finding them. I'm trying to just check them really quick.
I don't know why I bothered muting my mic when it would come through hers anyway. I apologize.
Do you know what page it's on, Charlie?
Yes, I do. Nature is on...
I'm trying to do this fast.
Where the fuck is nature? Oh, nature's a realm. Fuck us.
Yes.
I think
Nature is something you can affect.
What other arts do you have?
I have Autumn, Metamorphosis, and Primal. And for realms, I have Fae, Prop, Nature, and Actor.
Primal is on 215. Metamorphosis is on 209. Can you turn dust into water? You'll be set.
Hello, Anai.
Ani, how's it going?
About 19th century Texas. Well, technically, right now it's the 20th century. In the game, at least.
I think the chat wants me to chug it.
Chug your wine.
Yeah.
But you're,
Thank you. Thank you for the
tie around your
compliment. I
head, Adam.
appreciate it.
I know I have one, but it's not. It's somewhere else. I don't know where it is. I haven't worn it in a while.
Oh yeah, I'm drinking my twisted tea right now. Hang on.
you need to do a stream, Adam, where you have your tie around your head and you cry in Japanese.
Ooh. Hang on. How many dots in Primal?
I have one.
Ooh! You can conjure water it too.
Can you?
Now, so now you have to suck up the teacher for extra credit, so he'll let you spend your XP during the session.
If you wish to spend it afterwards, I will allow it, but for now you will have to live with the difficulty of living in the Dustbowl.
Teacher
Lame.
says no. See, this is what happens when you try to make him nya. You put him in a bad mood, and then he gives everybody else extra work.
Just a little bit. Okay, well, I guess I'll just, like, try to, like, wipe myself down as much as I possibly can. So it cannot be completely gross. And start getting dressed, I guess.
Would you remind me of your cat familiar's name, Melinda?
Willow?
Willow?
Yes.
Professor Willow.
So as you're trying to, like, dust yourself off, Willow is kind of doing the cat thing and licking himself clean and says, "You know, there's another way."
What? Genuine in both character and me.
Oh, the cat's. As you're trying to, like, clean yourself off, the cat's is licking himself off and looking at you as like, you can just clean yourself.
Alright, cat, get to it.
No. I'm okay. But thank you for the offer.
The cat kind of says, "Suit yourself," and kind of saunters himself out of the room.
Cat,
Sassy. Like a cat.
Oh. I'm gonna please the chat real quick. I'll be right back.
Adam, you're next! We can't move on without you.
I'm gonna take a drink of my tea real quick. My spiked tea.
Okay, so what do you do for the next half hour while Adam gets back?
So as you're kind of fidgeting with your bolo tie, a cat walks down the steps down into the lobby and kind of gives you a nod.
I'm sure I've seen
kind of
Willow
see it.
before, right? Like, was it in the car?
I feel like you had to have.
Yeah, you've seen the cat before. As you kind of see the cat go into kind of predator mode and start slinking around into a hallway.
I will greet the cat as I would a person. Morning.
Hey, good morning, back.
Is Enva awake yet? Do you know if she's coming?
She is tending to the morning necessities, taking as long as you humans tend to do.
Understood.
There you go. Should I pour it in the sake glass though, or should I put it in the swing it from the thing?
No,
I
just
mean,
take a
make
shot of the sake glass.
Willow, if
Take
you
a shot
don't
of
mind
the
me
sake.
asking, how are you holding up here? As a chimera, that must be very difficult without glamour.
The cat tells you it is difficult. If Eleanor wasn't nearby, I don't think I'd be holding myself together quite so well.
Well, if there's anything I can do to help you, please don't hesitate. I think this carnival I'm running could use all the help it can get. And your services are appreciated, whatever they may be.
I am working on it, he says as he kind of slinks away and disappears down a hallway.
I hope he's not referring to one of us.
So, Eleanor, as you realize that the world you inhabit is a world of sand and dust, and there is currently no running water
So Texas.
in the hotel,
Yeah, Texas.
what do you do?
Like I said, I just get dressed and probably just like meet Hutch downstairs.
So,
That's not the right angle.
you two meet in the foyer as Willow returns with a rather scrawny looking dead mouse and places it at Enva's feet and gives like a bit of a bow as it backs away.
Oh, fun. Thank you. Literally what I say to the cats I live with, because they bring in birds all the time.
Brunch is served, my lady, Willow says.
I'll just like pick it up by the tail. Just
Do you actually eat those? You are a slua. I mean,
Slua are fond of rather dead, moldy things, and so it
I
would
think so.
it would not be out of turn for her to literally eat a somewhat desiccated rat.
it just pins it to her shirt.
Willow's first kill here. It's a little trophy.
Yeah, this rat does not look like it was holding out very well.
Well, unfortunate.
So does Enva actually eat the rat, or what does she do? Well, not the mouse, I said.
Yeah, fuck it, I'll eat it, I don't care. Speed metal. Eat the dead rat. Stop the tail. Tails are scary.
You kind of see her do the open her mouth where there's no teeth inside of it, and kind of pulls the rat off like it's a lollipop.
I don't know what Slua would do. This could be completely normal. I don't want to dump on your culture here. Do you know if the knocker will be joining us today?
No, I don't know. I think he's still sleeping.
Adam, I did say that the sermon would start at 10. Are you going to wake up at 9 and get ready, or do you plan on doing something else with the morning?
No. I'll get ready, yeah.
How does Paul Pinkerton wake up? Does he wake up facing his body the opposite way than he fell asleep? Or...
if there's like I kind of want to too bad he's like nothing hanging from the ceiling. Like there's like no holes in the ceiling. I just hold on to like a bat with my feet. That's not.
I just want to point out that you have dexterous toes, not mighty toes. See if Josh will let you take that.
Oh my god, Daestra, that's really funny. I remember that. The Amanda show is really old, but I love that. That's so good.
I always preferred classic all that. I felt like Amanda lost something when she went on her own.
I preferred all of them. I didn't really care. I liked all of them.
I prefer all that, but Amanda show is still top notch.
Hey.
Before she went off the deep end.
Yeah, before she
Yeah.
went Britney Spears, well, not levels of Britney Spears, but
She kind of swerved
Britney
back,
Spears was
hasn't she?
justified, though.
At least I haven't heard about her at all, and that usually means the same thing.
Wait, who?
Amanda Bynes.
Amanda Bynes? Last I heard, she wanted to be a rapper or something, and then she got, like, arrested for, like, doing stupid shit to, like, cars or something, or drugs, I don't remember.
Well, do you guys
never
remember
mind.
that she was in that movie? Yeah, there was in a vampire movie a couple years back. With,
To bring it back to the World of Darkness.
Yeah, bring it back.
We'll, in the CAFCON World of Darkness Netflix series, we'll cast Amanda Bynes as a Malkavian. The Malkavian Primogen of El Paso. So Paul Tinkerton does his morning routine. I'm assuming it involves brushing and flossing his toes.
Effective liked that comment, Josh. He says perfect.
And you find that it seems as though only 2 of your motley are in the lobby, as the other 2 have perhaps gone about their own business or own plans for the day. As Crudar perhaps did not wish to be quite thrown to the wolves yet.
So we have to do something about this pipe problem. We need water in here. This place is filthy.
I'm working on it.
If you say that as Eleanor says that, that's the moment where the camera zooms out and she says we need water in this building, and it zooms out to this completely dusty town, and zooms out even further to the literal hundreds of miles of nothing but desert stretching out from this point where this is the nexus.
There's underground water, damn it. Dig a well.
No, I was going to try to do that episode 1, but I don't have any nature.
That perhaps is not the worst idea. If you look at things historically.
Yeah.
Although I don't know if you can metagame Changeling the Dreaming by looking at things that happened actually during the Great Depression. But it seems as though 2 of your motley, Eleanor and Hutch, are already awake, and it seems they're wearing their Sunday best.
Is it Sunday, though?
I have lost track, and I will say yes.
Fair enough.
Reasonable.
I will
When in
return
doubt-
though. I have to take a potty break real quick.
Okay.
Oh damn, Don Warrison! Holy shit!
Hey,
He
thanks, buddy.
gave us 1,000 bits for a tip for Adam's Hood. He earned his keep.
I emptied the bottle, guys. I need another bottle. So thank you.
Keep drinking, Adam. How much for alcohol poisoning?
Nah, that's not enough to do that. Yeah.
Well, we can't get Josh to Nya. Somebody's got to do something around here. God damn it! And I'm willing to sacrifice your liver to see that happen.
So, Kazaa, as you come downstairs and you see 2 members of your motley as the cat that the Slua brought with her comes once more with another rat. This one is literally desiccated as compared to the simply scrawny one he managed to find before. And he kind of puts it before you 2 at the foot of the stairs and says, "The gentlemen will have to share."
Thank you, Willow. It's very kind of you. I've already eaten breakfast. Mr. Kazaa, if you would like.
I'll grab it, and then
You're basically holding a little rat mummy.
does it need to be salted or anything, or it was like his first time like trying to heat like I guess,
Desiccated rat.
yeah.
You know, during the Great Depression, which this is currently set in, that might not be the first time somebody's had to do this.
Yeah.
But he will say, unfortunately, the kitchen's facilities I have found rather lacking. Should you like seasoning, you will have to provide it yourself.
See, there's salt in the desert, but I don't know.
I mean, if you're willing to pick out through every grain of sand, you'll find some NaCl.
Yeah. And howdy, HTG, yeah.
HTG, what's up, buddy?
Yes.
Thank you.
Glorious benefactor. Or hentai master.
The provider of the dice trays.
True.
Yeah.
He has equipped fully half of the current group with dice trays. And actually, I've got 2 more. Do you guys want dice trays?
I kind of
Sure.
my dice holder is also doubles as a little tray.
I mean, okay. I'll give you one next time I see you, Adam. What did you say, Josh? Was that a yes or a no?
No, I'm okay. I already have a little dice tray.
Okay. I didn't
My
ask if you
case for
have
my
one.
dice functions
I
as
asked
a
if you
case
wanted
and a
one.
dice tray.
And a flotation device.
And a bludgeoning weapon should push come to shove.
Yeah.
But yes, you were being told, Adam, that the desiccated rat is currently being served unseasoned.
And I'm guessing there's no. I'm gonna take some of the scraps in my fire or the wood that I left previously from trying to build that sculpture,
Mm-hmm.
and try to make a little fire just so I don't kill all the bacteria in it. Hopefully, just
Well,
sear it
why
on
don't
both
you-
sides.
Well, why don't you give me an intelligent survival to see if you're actually capable of creating yourself a little fire?
Fire. Oh, opened up the wrong app. There he goes. It opened up Pokemon for some reason.
Adam, we all know why it opened up Pokemon. Now
It's most
close
of
that,
memory.
Crunchyroll, the Shonen Jump app, Pornhub, Hentai Haven, and open up the Dice app.
So I have 3 of those on one app. It's called the browser. That's don't have app for Hentai Haven.
Yet.
Oh, cool. Yeah. And I got 3 successes though. Pretty nice.
The 3 successes, your knocker ingenuity, you managed to build a small fire in the foyer as the autumn she has to look on as a small burn mark is being made on the floor.
I mean, he's the one in charge of repairing this place. Let him do it.
Yeah, we're gonna put
Sorry,
them
I am back. Sorry about that.
You're fine.
So, fellows, pardon me for disturbing your breakfast, but I had hoped to discuss a brief spot of business before we set out today.
Well, this apartment business or some other business?
Much as I would like to see this establishment turned into the regal palace I envision it could be, we may have more pressing matters. So previously, I tried to tell you as much as I had gleaned from Van Houten. Was that his name?
Vanderberg.
Vanderberg. From
Are you thinking of the people that make ties?
I don't know, dude. Names are names. Everybody's Poobert now. Recently, I had endeavored to tell you as much as I could about Vanderberg's meeting. This is a problem for us for a number of reasons. Not the least of which, that it's a huge moral monstrosity, but also that we cannot ignore the fact that he could be excavating massive amounts of dreamers from this already dismal pit. Well, Mr. Kazan, let me ask you this. How familiar do you think you are with railways?
Like the railway itself, or like the train on the rails, or what do you?
All of the above, sir. Enlighten me.
They run on coal, which is in the ground, which powers an engine that makes it go forward.
Yes, thank you, sir. But I'm asking, on a schematic level, how much do you know about them?
Would I know enough with my intelligence, Josh, or
What's your intelligence, and do you have anything related to engineering, crafts, or mechanics?
science? I guess.
Science. Science would definitely be what you just did. Science would be describing how a train works and how it's powered. But I would argue you would need some kind of like academics, engineering, or.
Do they have academics? Yeah, 2 in academics.
Do you have? So you have technology. Do you have like craft mechanics or something like that?
I have crafts, but mechanics. I don't believe it's a skill there.
Did you pick when you pick academics, you have to pick a specialty. Which specialty did you pick?
Because I only have 2 dots in academics, though.
No, even if you only have 2
automatically
dots.
get one. It's like craft.
Okay. I was gonna put like something like what's it called? What's that show that where you just like Tinker's not Tinker's what's it MacGyver? There you go, MacGyver stuff. Somehow,
As somebody who has been to university, I'm not sure MacGyvering is a typical college program. But if you were legitimately thinking of like mechanical engineering,
yeah, I guess.
If you wish, you can have mechanical engineering. I'll give that one to you, if that's what you want your specialty to be.
Yeah, I suppose that would be the best for his specialties.
Okay.
Put ME.
Funnily enough, if you actually did have that kind of knowledge in this area, you might have studied at El Paso. But El Paso started off as a mining and engineering school, or UTEP did.
Yeah.
So with 2 dots in academics, mechanical engineering, you definitely probably know how a train functions, and with science, you would know how it's powered. But you probably need a little more to be able to design a train itself or any kind of more complicated machinery. At 2 dots, you're more at a level of like basic collegiate understanding of mechanics.
But what if I have 4 dots in knowledge? Not knowledge, intelligence.
4 dots in intelligence, 2 dots in academics. You are you are definitely adept. Yes. He'd be way ahead of the curve on Morrison if he was doing nuclear engineering.
Well, it was around, but not to a wide.
Oh yeah, it's definitely like we're like at this point you're about a decade away from the atomic bomb, so it's definitely underway. But you'd be getting in on the ground floor in that what was it called? The Project Manhattan. That Project Manhattan money. Yeah, you probably have a relatively sufficient knowledge base when it comes to repairing or understanding how a train works. But you would need a little more academic study to be able to, say, design a train.
Yeah.
Or push the study of mechanical engineering further.
Or steampunk. That's it. Yeah, I can't make steampunk stuff yet. In other words,
no, not quite yet. I mean, with magic, you might be able to cut a few shortcuts.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I believe 2 dots in academics qualifies at like a bachelor's degree of understanding.
Which is more than I got, so it's
You have to pretend you have that knowledge.
Well, I probably have what they have from back in their day, because yeah.
Well, at this point, if you have that kind of understanding of mechanics, a lot of it's going to be in your head because you don't have readily available databases to reference information.
Yeah.
So you can relay that information to your she as you will.
I know how they work, but I don't. I'm still a little bit away from creating one myself. And the library is shut down, so I can't research it more.
Well, I don't need you to create one, Mr. Kazal. Let me... Enva, madam, do come closer. This involves your opinions as well.
Okay.
Mr. Kazal, how would you feel... Or shall I say, how comfortable do you think you would be were I to ask you to find a way to sabotage the railway system in this town? Particularly in a way that looked like an accident, particularly in a way that didn't come back to us. Do you think that would be within your field of ability?
Most likely, yeah. Just gotta put a big enough thing on one side and then the train flips over. But
Josh,
it would be a pretty big disaster.
This place is already fucked, right? Like, what does Hutch think the academic or the economic fallout would be of like taking out the trains for a little while? Are there any fucking trains that come through here?
Why don't you give me... I'm trying to think of the closest role to economics. Right now, that would be like an intelligence economics.
I don't have academics. I do have... I have politics, if that counts. I've got streetwise. Empathy?
What's gray mare again?
Gray mare is
like knowledge. Yeah. Why don't you give me a... why don't you give me intelligence politics right now?
Ooh! Haha, you fool, I can't botch that. For I am a she and we are beautiful. Alright, intelligence politics, 8 dice. What's my difficulty?
I will say 7.
Diff 7, come on. I thought this was gonna be hard. He says right before he just rolls terrible. This roll brought to you by HTG.
All of the dice are 0.
Well, zeros are good.
Scenario.
That is going to be 3 successes, mi amigo.
3 successes, so a pretty good success. It would be disastrous. As you saw, it is difficult to get in and out of this town, and the fact that the railway is running is probably a miracle of whatever few supplies are being continued to be brought in and out of the city, as well as any whatever little goods are still being transported.
What comes through?
What comes through? So probably any kind of like minimal government aid that is being sent out, or any kind of goods due to the difficulties of taking like a car through the desert. No, you would basically be isolating this town from any kind of import-export that might happen, and considering that there is no means of currently growing food successfully or on a large scale, you might be starving these people if you did that.
Okay, so this town is in no way self-sufficient.
Not currently. At one point it might have been. But you definitely would be screwing over any means of mass transportation, and you'd probably be delivering a huge blow to the railway commissioner, as well as basically anybody who still has money in this town.
So what you're saying is it'd be a giant penis to the Vanderbergs.
It would be a giant penis to everybody, is what you think would happen.
So then you eat the rich. You convince everyone to eat the rich.
Yeah, but it's always the little people that suffer.
You would definitely get at the people you're trying to get at, but you would also make everybody suffer as a whole.
That might be worth exploring as a nuclear option. But taking out the trains themselves... How often do supplies come through? Like, is there a reliable schedule?
I would say sporadically.
Sporadically, right? So, like, if it comes through once a month, and we take it out for, like, Thursday to Tuesday, it's not the worst thing on earth.
See if Van Morrison gets it. The rich are food for the poor.
So delicious.
You see, rich people have better marbling because they have access to better food.
Yes.
There you go.
Let's get one thing straight. This is
Get that Texas Wagyu.
what we're discussing here is a nuclear option. I'm not entirely certain of it being the wisest idea. However, if are there any other options that we can use to protect the people that are living in this town, I'm more than willing to accept them. Was there anything, either in the meeting or in the letter that Enva stole, that might give me an idea as to the time frame that we can expect this happening in?
The letter going between Abelard Vanderberg and Salvador mentioned that they are trying to set up a meeting to better solidify their plans. but it seems as though a date has yet to be set.
Kidnapping.
But probably in the near future.
Kidnapping.
That's an option, actually.
Yeah. Battle Royale. You know. Yeah.
All right. Also, do you suggest that in character?
I think
You know what? Yeah, sure, let's do it.
That just seems like something the slow would be like. I could get a bag.
There you go.
It's just, what if we kidnap him? You always have to remember that she's speaking in a whisper.
So it's even better.
And so it probably comes out slightly creepier.
Killing rich, racist, fanatical asshole should be the first resort.
If we were caught kidnapping Abelard Vanderberg, the fallout that would fall on our backs would be colossal. Worthy suggestion, but perhaps not option number one. I think, for now, the best option is to perhaps keep their circle close and ferret out whatever information we could, and perhaps explore sabotaging the train as a nuclear option.
My concern would be the townspeople.
Well, again, if the supplies come through sporadically, we can probably get a hold of some kind of, manifest or, telegraph some kind of office to find out for sure. But if the supplies come through, say, twice a week, okay, right? We take it out on Wednesday, maybe it's down Thursday, and the shipment is a day or two late. Well, I don't know what you call it in the 30s. Atomic option? Radium option?
I don't think it's available yet.
I will tell you, Chaz, with 3 successes, Hutch would also probably be able to draw the conclusion that you might stop them for 1 week, but this is a rather wide government program you're talking about, of which a couple of very rich, wealthy people are planning on making quite a bit of money off of.
A couple days could be enough.
I mean, I'm down. I'm down to try the train option.
Could we just delay the train somehow,
Especially if kidnapping would work.
Again,
with the
file that for later.
So far, you have two ideas. Does Kazaa have an idea?
not just moving not delaying the train, so it goes to a different location with the little switchboard things. What are they called? Going up where the train.
I know.
Oh, are you talking about the things that move the tracks a little bit so that way the train turns a different location?
Yeah, you're
I feel like this isn't Wile E. Coyote and Roadrunner. That is something they would be able to bounce back from really fast.
No,
a switch, yes, thank you, Von Morris.
Yeah, that is the only reason why that idea came to my mind. I've been drinking, so it helps.
We need to know more about
somebody in the BDSM community, Chaz, you should know all about switches.
Yeah, true.
Unfortunately, I'm only a bottom, Josh.
And I'm only a top. What are you gonna do? We need to know more about the Salvador fellow. He is the linchpin in all this. It seems like without his help, Vanderberg is helpless. But the only
Wait,
one...
which one?
Salvador. But the only one that knows about Salvador is the cowboy, and he's not talking.
That son of a bitch.
As you guys are starting to mull and mediate over your plans, you can hear the clanking of horseshoes, as well as against clopping against the dirt, as well as foot traffic starting to pass by the hotel.
Okay, so they're passing by. I thought it was like the sheriff's posse. This had to be good.
No. You basically hear a rather large amount of people for a town of less than 1,000 starting to walk down Main Street.
I'm assuming that means it's time to get going for church. Before we leave, one last small shred of business. We have yet to discuss what we're actually going to do once we find the seed of Apollo. What say you to enchanting them?
Enchanting them how? Like, where were we?
Or what?
When you enchant a mortal, you basically bring them over to the Fae, so they would be almost as supernatural as we are.
Oh.
Not quite. They're not full-blown Fae. It's kind of like ghouls and vampire. But it also means basically blowing the lid off the whole masquerade thing we got going on, going, hey, fairies are real.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. Can't we just bonk them and drag them with us? Be like, no, you're coming with us.
Madam, you seem to have a fetish for this.
No, it's just easy.
We're told specifically that would be a potentially horrific idea. When you guys were given your briefing meeting, basically, before you were all sent off to different directions.
What would be horrific? Enchanting them?
No. That the seeds of Apollo have been planted, and that in the vision that those of you had, well, all of you currently present had it described to you. The only one who actually had the vision is currently not here. But that those who uprooted the seeds of Apollo saw that the seeds would wither and die if taken away out of their native environment.
Oh.
I'm not saying we take them away. I don't want to take them away. Hutch feels as though enchanting them and showing them, hey, look at all this cool shit you don't know about, is probably the best way to, like, bulwark them against the oppressive banality of this place, especially until we at least get a balefire going. Which I assume we just go out like a match in a rainstorm if we try to set one up now. So I'm not saying we take them out of crucifixion. I don't want to transplant them anywhere. I just want to basically give them something to hope for. And to be like, hey, look, there is more to the world. You were right. Now keep going.
Wouldn't that be a type of uprooting?
Mentally, perhaps. But
Dreams have many ways of being interpreted.
I just go back to sleep with the dreams, though. I just like, it was a weird dream.
It's like, can we do that without alarming them?
what were we specifically told in the briefing? I mean, yeah, there's ways to bring them onto our side. Vampires do it all the time. But I'm saying, like, were we specifically told not to enchant? Or were we specifically told not to move them? Or is it just...
You had a vision conveyed to you of which some people had their own interpretations. But the vision that some of the changelings had was of the god Apollo spreading a bag of seeds, essentially, across most of the Western world. As he rode back around, the seeds had grown into trees, which he picked up, put into his quiver, and pulled out his arrows and shot at the moon.
I remember the vision. So far, Hutch thinks this idea sounds a lot like pouring fertilizer on the seeds. What say the rest of you?
I think it's an idea we should keep in our pocket, but I don't really know. We don't really want to risk, everything gets...
Oh, I'd say that ship has sailed at this point, and we are first mates, quartermaster, and indeed deck boy for that particular voyage. However, you are right. We shall make the decision when more becomes aware. In the meantime, I don't wish to lose the procession. Shall we, then?
As you start to hear church bells ringing.
Bring it down.
I'm ready with my paraphone fan like a lady.
Are you dressed completely in black, though?
Absolutely.
As you step outside and immediately feel the heat being absorbed by your clothes.
You know what? Personally, as an actual person that's never actually bothered me, everyone's like, "Oh, the black absorbs so much heat," and I'm like, I don't feel that. Like, I feel the heat, but I don't feel like I get any hotter than I would without like wearing anything black. But I think that's just me.
You're always wearing.
I can assure you that black denim gets very hot.
Black leather, Josh.
I guess so.
Black leather also gets very hot.
I think it's also just me being like used to it because like I've done it my whole life pretty much, and I lived in Florida and shit where it gets like humid and hot.
I mean, this shirt and the 3 I have that are exactly like it are one of the few pieces of clothing I have that aren't black, and I've spent most of my life walking, so at this point I'm just good.
You just absorb the heat. Release it as energy.
I'm box right now. You know what? That's a flex. I guess I can do something I can do.
So are you all going to church? Like good boys and girls?
Ugh, yes.
I'm heading in. I mean, Hutch doesn't particularly put any influence on this as a changeling. It's, I don't know, the same to him as attending some sort of pagan ritual, but he's going to go and he's going to put on the best performance that he can.
Are you going to look at the people going to church and be like, you all might as well be believing in fairies and dragons while you're at it?
No, but that would be funny.
Just mentally.
Speak a rainbow, come out of nowhere.
So as you all step into the street, you are, as I said, the hotel is located along a main street, of which many of the businesses which have now gone under, essentially, were located. And one of them is a large brick building of which you are familiar with, which had a very bright lit white cross on the front. And you see what few members of the community which remain in crucifixion are making their way, most of them by foot, some of them literally without shoes, dragging kids dressed in flower sack dresses. A few of them riding horses, some of them probably bringing people on little carriage and buggies with a horse where you can see its ribs.
Seeing all the town collected like this is probably deeply affecting for Hutch. Because this is the first time he's really staring into the pond and seeing what he's quote-unquote responsible for. I think this might be a banality trigger for me. Because my banality trigger is seeing people suffer, and when I see people in fucking sackcloth dresses and no shoes, that's not going to be good for him.
Ribs exposed on their animals, alright. Give me that banality.
So how does this work?
Is this kind of a bad social situation?
A bad what?
Social situation? Jesus.
I suppose that would depend on how you feel about seeing people who are desperate to find any last shred of hope going to church.
Oh, you think it's hilarious. You're having a great time.
I also have a bad time in bad social situations, so I'm wondering if this counts as one. That's also a problem for me.
How do we do banality rules? Tell us, all knowing table of contents. What were you saying? Sorry.
No, I will say it is perhaps not a bad social role yet, but it has a chance of developing into one.
Fun. Well, keep me on my toes. First we go Charlie.
So Willow is kind of peeking out the door as you guys are filing out. Do you expect him to follow you, or are you making him? Are you making the pagan fairy cat staying out of the church?
I guess I'll let her stay out of the church.
Okay. You're gonna have her wander around, or you're gonna have her stay at the hotel?
I'll let her wander. She can go wherever she wants. She can go back to the hotel. She can wander wherever.
Okay.
Spy.
Very.
Okay, so I rolled my glamour at a difficulty 8.
Let's suck that magic right out of you, Chaz.
I could be in trouble.
What's up?
I could be in trouble.
Oh, what'd you roll?
I botched.
Ooh. What if think the botch.
And my banality threshold is 3.
Damn it, dice.
Rolls a botch, the character also gains a point of banality for every 1 rolled. Okay, hang on. I could be in trouble. No,
How many ones did you roll?
Okay, no, we're good. We're good. A lot. Well, I only rolled the 1, but that's enough to fill up my last 2 checkboxes for banality. So
I believe when they all fill up, you get a new point of banality, right? A new permanent banality.
My reading of this is that when it hits 10.
Okay.
Hold on. For severe triggers, difficulty can go higher. In egregious cases, such as killing a changeling with cold iron, the storyteller may roll a character that takes banality automatically. If a character's banality points exceed 10, all points are removed and the character gains a banality dot. Okay. So I'm not sure. Okay, I'm better off than I thought.
Yeah.
But Hutch is having a super bad time right now.
So for a brief moment, Hutch, as you walk out into the sun and the sand, and you see all of these desperate people, and you see the fanaticism in their eyes, the mad clinging to any hope that they can hold on to, even if that hope is hoping that in their suffering there is a reward in the next life, as they drag their children behind them, as they ride animals that look like a death-stone pale horse. You are suddenly hit with the severe gravity of the Dustbowl and the Great Depression, and it weighs on you, and it almost anchors you to the earth, and that flicker of magic inside of you feels like it's about to go out for a brief moment, and it's like you're having a panic attack before you manage to ground yourself again, or unground yourself perhaps, and catch a hold of your breath again.
Yeah, he's not doing well. He just sort of like rubs his chin and just visibly disassociating the whole way to the church. Hutch is having a bad fucking time right now.
The people don't even seem to notice you as they're filing in, and you come in, and as you enter the church, Kazaa is seeing it from a completely new point of view. As
this is what it looks like when I'm supposed to be here.
As you see, despite the mass migration from the town, this place almost looks like it's starting to get full. And at the front of the church, where there is a bit of a raised platform, and you see the door sort of going to the back, and of course, the big white cross standing behind the almost dwarfed in comparison silhouette of Miss Marigold, as she stands almost looking like a character out of a comic book in her long flowing white robe with what looks almost like a cape that comes in a V and goes back behind her shoulders with a cross embroidered on it. And her hair is done perfectly, kind of coiffed back and up a little bit.
Did you have a
And
window race?
What's up? No.
Windful in your hair?
No, she's got like that stuff people used to put in their hair that made it a fucking helmet, basically. I know for men it was called Ryle Cream, but I'm not sure what women were putting, if it was Aquanet or something else at the time.
Cement.
And there is a choir singing some modern hymns.
What does the choir look like? Are they as ostentatious as she is?
They are close. They are very clearly wearing like some nice church gowns.
Okay, so she's spending money on her people then.
Yes. She's spending money on dressing them. They still look dirty, but compared to her, she looks like she's probably had a bath within the past week as compared to everybody else.
Well, you know, brides and bridesmaids.
And I will say Kazaa recognizes a young woman kind of towards the back, holding what looks to be like a stack of papers and probably a very big Bible. And she is the woman who was writing in the back office late at night when you broke in. And you see a bit of a physical resemblance between her and the woman standing at the podium
So this is something we all notice?
No, I'll say Kazan notices.
Okay.
And I'll let them know, like, this is the one in the back over there. I'm gonna, like, whisper to them. The one in the back over there is, one who was, writing was it not the hymns, though, with the sermon, right? The
Yes.
sermon for the one in the ostentatious dress.
Did you learn that word from me just now, Adam? Be honest.
Hey, what? Say again?
Did you learn that word from me just now, Adam? Be honest.
No. I've heard it. I heard you say.
Okay.
I have heard it, but
Adam is like, I have heard big words in context before.
so I'll just put it in my context. Yes. Copy and paste.
And do you think she could be the seed?
There is a chance she has potential. If not this seed, possibly a smaller seed.
Yusuf said you just couldn't let Adam sound intelligent, could you?
It was just the thought that occurred.
You're doing the whole, he learned everything he knows from me. All those big smart sounding words.
So you spoke to
So
this
the one
woman,
where
yes?
I spoke to her, yes.
Do you think
She
you
did.
could, do you think you could get close?
She didn't particularly like me getting close, so no.
I understand. Never mind.
But I think Eleanor might be able to get close.
She's not a creepy man.
What? Everyone cut out. I'm sorry, what happened?
I
We're
believe
trying to
Eleanor
figure out
could,
who might be able to get closest to her sister that actually wrote the sermon.
And who wrote other things you don't know about.
Well, yes, thank you, Adam, for missing the character give.
Well, Tom wasn't here to tell us.
Curse you and your lack of knowledge about early 30s pulp trivia. I'm kidding. I love you. You're the best one of all of us.
Adam did see the Pulp magazines, but he didn't see the
He didn't make the connection.
he didn't see the accepted submission letter.
He did see the cover that said amazing. And I knew what that was, and it hurt me inside because of my characters elsewhere in Pretend Land.
And so as people seem to be filing into their regular seating, where are you guys going to decide to plop yourselves down? Are you standing up in the back?
Is there like a social strata going on right now? Like I assume it's like rich people up front, and the poor people in the back? Okay. Do I see anybody from the meeting here?
They're all here. But well, as everybody has that sort of fanaticism and sort of pleading in their eyes as they're looking at Miss Marigold, there's sort of a more relaxed kind of social conversation happening up front. And, those kind of like leaning in, whispering, and chuckling kind of thing.
Right. So here's what I'm going to do. Mr. Kazar, given the fact that you might perhaps have a relationship with this woman which could be considered strained, perhaps it is best if we don't sit together today. Would that bother you terribly?
No, it doesn't bother me.
I do appreciate it. So I'm going to sort of hold out an elbow for Enva, and I'm just going to walk straight up to the rich dickheads.
Okay. And are you allowing yourself to be dragged along to the very front of church?
Well, I'm holding out. I'm not putting her in a headlock. It's like,
no, I know you're doing.
Let's go, madam.
Headlock.
And besides, she's a sluagh. The headlock wouldn't work. Adam, I put in the headlock.
You mean the new year?
Well, I don't really think there's anything much for me to observe entirely in the back, because I was thinking maybe I should just observe, but since this is church, there's nothing really going to be going on, I guess, so I might as well just go with.
And so as you begin to walk towards the front, as people are settling into their seats, you kind of now see people are kind of eyeing you, not quite with hostility, but sort of almost the kind of look an animal gives when it's not sure what to do, whether you are a threat or not.
Who is?
And what's up?
Who is looking at me like that?
Oh, everybody. Basically all of the poor sharecroppers that have come to hear a Miss Marigold sermon, as you are clearly not regular members of the community for anybody who didn't see your car driving through the day before.
Yeah, Hutch is still bruised from that gut punch, so he's that probably affects him a little bit, but he's going to try and, tap into that regal appearance again, square his shoulders, chest out, and really make his presence known like he belongs here.
But I have friendly.
Yeah, what?
I said, but I have friendly face.
You're the creepy one.
I know, but that's why I have friendly face.
I'm supernaturally pretty. You know what? You're right. These people should adore us. We are awesome.
Well, what is Eleanor's appearance stat?
I'm sorry, what?
What's Eleanor's appearance stat?
I don't remember. Hang on.
It's on the top of your page.
Oh, here we go. 3. I also, I have friendly face, and my appearance is at a 3.
Okay,
my appearance is 4, and I only put 2 dots in it. I would have put 3, but I didn't want to be vain.
You guys are probably
I'm the boss. I don't need chanting voice.
But I also have sex appeal.
You use presence chance?
Well, I mean, yeah, you are the most limber one.
Yep.
So you two are probably forming a quite attractive-looking couple as you guys are walking towards the front, as people are literally caked with dirt in some cases. As you all immediately go to the front and sit. Who are you sitting next to?
So I am going to employ all 3 dots of my super special she cannot botch etiquette on this to be like, what is the polite thing to do? Do I sit down quietly somewhere where there's a gap and wait to be acknowledged? Do I go up and gentlemen, pleasure to see you here?
Why don't you give me that etiquette roll, Chaz, and I'll tell you how it turns out.
Why don't you tell me what to put with the fucking etiquette roll and you'll get your goddamn roll. Okay, Mr. Storyteller? Charisma? Manipulation?
Yeah, I was going to say, in this case, I will give you a charisma etiquette.
HTG says, thank God Chaz isn't model pretty, he'd be so annoying.
Well, I can't let the plebeians envy me too badly.
That's getting saved for humans or cats. LOL, Von Morrison, fucking chill. Humans.
Well, that's a 1, so that's on here. What's my difficulty?
I don't say this isn't like a particularly difficult social situation, but unless you've never been in a Christian church before, so I'll say a 6.
4 successes.
If you were like a Buddhist or something like that, this might be a little more socially confusing.
Why is there so much shit in here?
He bows at the. He bows.
You people are supposed to be poor. What?
You take off your shoes before you walk in the church, guys. God damn it.
Well, how many successes, Chaz?
4.
4. So as you approach the front pews, where you see basically the same men that you saw the night before, except this time probably with their wives and perhaps I won't say children, they're all pretty old, so any children they have at this point are probably adults. So you see them with their wives dressed in their Sunday best. And of course the polite thing to do in this scenario would be to introduce your lady friend and to take an open seat, not towards the center, but probably towards the end, considering you're a newcomer.
Alright, and that is what I shall do.
Yee.
And I introduce Enva to them all as, dear God, what the fuck do you call a woman in a Christian church without being called a sinner? This is my servant. No.
Thanks.
I will just sort of... What would be the polite thing to introduce her as? Because she's not a girlfriend, but like cover, right?
You can just say an acquaintance, I guess, or a friend.
I'll just introduce her as Enva, and then if they ask, she can fill in the
Give them her fairy name right away.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Eleanor. I forget we have people names.
No, no. Like I said, we can just be like like we've been friends for a little while. That's fine. That works.
This is church. We're not allowed to be friends. We can't even look at each other. All right, we're committing a sex act right now on my elbow.
I can't show my ankle.
With the blackness,
This is the 30s, woman. Have some modesty. Adam, I've cut you off 5 times tonight. I'm sorry, you glorious prince.
Yeah.
Speak your mind.
Your Italian voices booms over my. But I already forgot what I said. It came and gone. The wisely lives to go back to find me.
So where's Kazaa gonna sit?
I'm gonna. Is there? Well, first of all, Josh, is there holy water in the front of the church?
No, this isn't a Catholic church.
Listen, Von
Okay.
Morrison, HGG. Church wipes away the sin. We can't be doing this sin.
They're not quite at the point of evangelical churches, modern evangelical churches, where when you walk in, they hand you the little Jello cups of holy wine with the little wafer cracker. That blew my mind. Like one of the few times I've been inside an evangelical church with somebody, and they were like, "Here's your communion." And I'm like, "Whoa!" It comes in a tiny little Jello packet with a cracker on top.
I think Catholics are doing that now, too.
No, they did it to me when I was in the hospital once.
Probably because of COVID, but they can't have us all drinking out of the same wine cup. But that's how I was raised, going to Catholic church. I was used to them literally taking a big-ass cracker, breaking it into pieces, giving it to people, and everybody drinking out of the same wine cup.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, wow, how corporate and capitalistic.
They did it to me in the hospital. Like, they gave me, like I don't know if they didn't give me wine, if I remember correctly. But yeah, like, they gave me, like, the little cracker and like that, because I didn't want to explain that I was pagan. So, like, they had a fucking priest come in and, like, give me a fucking weird prayer, and then they gave me a cracker, and I was just like,
when the fuck did that happen?
Not one here. It was in the hospital in Florida.
Didn't you become pagan recently, though?
No.
Oh, okay.
I've been pagan for a while.
Oh yeah, the holy water gun. That was awesome. Did the fucking priest with the COVID mask and the super soaker just firing in that guy's car?
Oh yeah.
At what point does it just become ludicrous?
But no,
like, does the priest need a fire hose?
Bowl of holy water you'd be expecting in a Catholic church, Adam. A little bird bath.
A bird bath, yeah, no, just okay. I was gonna just wash my face with it, but nope, it didn't. no chance for that. Just be the human thing and just. No, I was sitting like toward the back, so like she doesn't recognize me though. The sister.
Okay.
Almost bathing vessel.
Yeah.
No, that's the baptismal font.
Yeah.
Get a holy cleanse.
Water hose and.
Hey, they have to have one of those, right? Do they still lock them to prevent witchcraft?
Oh wait, what's up?
They have to have a baptismal font, right? Do they still lock them to prevent witchcraft?
Oh, probably. But I will say, Adam, Kazaa does notice that Miss Samantha Owens is definitely not here, much as she said.
The bitch lied to me.
She said she wasn't welcome there, remember?
Oh, wait, so the woman that he saw the other night is not currently here?
No, the woman he is building a relationship as a potential dreamer.
Okay, fair enough. I think I must have been in the toilet or something.
But
I think it was just a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, there was the sister though, right? You're talking about the.
No, the sister's here, but the woman who was like building little arts and crafts out of dead desert things isn't there.
Yeah.
So what do you address Eleanor as?
What do you want to be called?
You know what? At this point, I don't care. Whatever's easier.
This is a prostitute I'm trying to save. No, I will.
That might work in a Catholic church.
I will introduce her as my dear Lady Eleanor.
As I will say, Abelard will extend a hand and kiss Eleanor's hand and say, "Oh, well, Hutch, I did not know you were hiding such a beautiful Texas rose from us."
Gross.
Hiding, Mr. Vanderberg, nothing of the sort. I would be remiss not to put such a divine sculpture of the Lord on display as much as I could.
Does Eleanor have anything to say?
Do they consider you pretty? I can't see the other face.
We'll be right back, though, guys. Use the restroom.
All right,
I guess I'll just say, like, charmed and greet him back nicely. Is he one of the ones I overheard talking?
yes.
Okay, I don't like him
He
mentally.
was the owner of the mansion that you were at the previous night.
But yeah, I'll just greet him back nicely, even though mentally I don't like the guy.
He will say, "Softly spoken. I like that in a woman."
Oh, okay. Okay.
As I remind you, your
What's
voice,
up, buddy?
your voice does not come out as more than a whisper to most people.
Yeah, I know. I just didn't like that sentence.
No, I did not expect you to.
It's almost like we're supposed to hate him.
He's cruising for a bruising.
And so, as you all take your seats at the end of the pew,
I do have more dots than her, just saying. Mechanically, I am the pretty one in this relationship.
Hey, listen, I still got sex appeal, so I'm pretty attractive to myself, so, you can have your pretty.
I mean, you win in real life, it's okay.
I'm kidding, you're fine, you're plenty. Shut up.
did you take sex appeal as one of your specialties?
What?
Did you take sex appeal as one of your specialties?
I think she took it as a merit.
Or no,
Oh.
something like that. What did I do?
So you're basically
Okay, yeah.
you're Eva Green and Penny Dreadful, basically.
Ladies.
As the room goes completely silent, and all eyes are on Miss Marigold. As she says, "I am glad to see some new faces here. It just goes to show that in these trying times where it can be difficult to feel the light of the Lord upon us, that souls are still reaching towards salvation," she says as she looks at you two and gives a smile.
Is she greeting us, or is the sermon starting?
I would say it's a bit of both.
Okay, so once the cues are coming that the sermon's starting, I'm going to take Anva, we're going to go sit on the end, and Hutch is going to be, like, I guess, appraising this whole thing, you know what I mean? Like, I guess I'm looking for, like, an intelligence empathy or perception empathy. I want to see how much of this is bunk. I want to see how much of this she actually believes, and how much of this she's milking for the money.
I shall also be observing.
Are you also going to be trying to, like, analyze her words, or are you looking for something else?
Well, yeah, pretty much just observing her and everyone else.
So, Chaz, are you trying to analyze the words, or kind of her motions and actions, or...
Hutch specifically wants to discern how much of this she actually believes. So I guess it's a little column A, little column B.
Okay.
I'm not looking to, like, grade her on a theology course. I just want to see if, like, she actually believes the crap she's spewing.
In that case, Chaz, from you, I will ask for perception. And... yeah, I guess you both gonna roll perception empathy.
Okay.
I just put dots in there.
I gotta remember what my dots are real quick.
What's the difficulty?
I will say this is also like at a difficulty 7.
Ah,
You said
she's not that good of an actor.
As she's going to be playing up the theatrics quite a bit.
What is it? Perception, empathy?
Yes, at a difficulty 7.
Difficulty 7? Okay.
1 success.
4 successes.
4 successes.
E.
As the she kind of looks on like, what is it that people, how do people work? As the slua just starts kind of doing the analytical breakdown of every facial tick and every word she's saying, as her associate in the back that Kazaa found familiar kind of gives her the Bible with a couple of pages sticking out. And she opens it and kind of gives a quick scan and says, you all know there was another time where people once found themselves stranded in the desert. Found themselves stranded there for near on 40 years. That man and those people were Moses and the Israelites. And their wanderings through those Egyptian deserts were a punishment from God for a lack of faith, for a lack of adherence to his words and his desires. And you hear people start to mumble and mutter underneath their breath. You hear those amens. And so why, if you connect a bit of the dots throughout history, do you think we are experiencing such a movement against us once again? We have become a nation, a people, without faith, without adherence to following the Lord's will and executing it. As you see people start to get riled saying, Amen, God be good, God be praised. God forgive us, we are sinners. He says, but there is hope. For those Israelites did find their way out of the desert, and they found themselves in the kingdom that God would bequeath to them.
Adam, your mic's a little high.
Yeah, my mic's a little high, or hey, is it better?
No, as in, like,
heard it?
you're breathing directly into it.
Okay. My breathing is too good. Do that ASMR. Hello, Yorkie, from across the pond.
She says, I believe God is bequeathing to us, here in crucifixion, a new nation, a new opportunity to start over. But we must learn to expel the dissidents, the sinners, in order to make a true new nation of God.
This bitch is starting a holy war.
And you all know who I'm talking about. This isn't the entire community of crucifixion, isn't it? There are people here who have yet to see the light. And they know God's plan for them. But they hold on to the pagan, ancient ways. To the voodoo they brought with them from the Caribbean, from Africa, to the pagan spirits in the skies that they brought with them from across the plains.
I just sort of lean in close to Enva. I'm like, is she talking about the Catholics or not? I can't... she's lost me.
And those who still on to the ancient regime of papacy.
Yep, that's the Catholics.
Why don't you, Chaz, give me the closest thing you can give me to intelligence theology.
Intelligence theology. Well, I don't have academics. Greymare.
You know, I will say politics applies to this one.
Of course it does. All right. Intelligence, politics.
She's not being subtle, so this is a difficulty 6.
Okay. Does my Seelie intrigue apply to this? Was Jesus a changeling?
We'll have to ask the writers of the book that question.
Okay, what about Paul, Mark? Diff 6?
Yes.
All day. I just got 7 successes. What are you going to do with it?
Answer your question now.
Putting a bit of 2 and 2 together, you can tell that she is, yes, addressing the Catholics that you heard about.
And also the Native Americans and also everybody that isn't in this building.
Yeah. Basically the minority communities who are holding on to some of that land they want to get a hold of.
Jesus was a celestial chorister. There we go.
And she says, "Are you all with me?" As people start to stand and cheer. "We will find our way through this desert and find the land of milk and honey that God has sought to bequeath to us." As you hear a chorus and a rupture of "Amen! Amen!" And she says, "Now, we might live in the spiritual world, but we still hold on to a world of material goods. And if we want to maintain this new kingdom of God, may you lay your financial blessings upon it to maintain that we will always have a place to congregate and to stand as a bulwark against the pagan demons outside of our door." And this is typically the moment that you're probably familiar with, where the KFC buckets are getting passed out. And I will say that is this is basically running towards the end of the whatever evangelicals call their masses.
LARPing?
I always want to call it mass, but I have been told multiple times, Josh, mass is specifically Catholic. And for some reason, I cannot remember the general word that you would use.
I also have heard it called as mass.
They call it as
worship service. Also, when I was typing that into Google, something came up called Evangelical Mass Effect, and I'm endlessly curious now.
Sounds like a fucking shitty band name or something.
Propaganda, Josh. That's sporty.
Service is the word I was probably looking for.
Yeah.
Yusuf, that's so funny.
So, Chaz, you had gotten a 1 earlier, right?
Or what? 1 success, yeah, to like
for the perception empathy.
Right.
If she does not believe what she's saying, she definitely sounds like she does.
So she's a good actor.
Even if it's not and from your intelligence political role, you can tell that she definitely does believe in the more material things that she's saying. Well, Enva, you can tell that as you're kind of looking at her and watching her and kind of seeing through the theatrics of her performance that it's a bit of half and half. She is not necessarily an atheist trying to grift a bunch of people who are in desperate needs. She is a person of faith herself. But
but God
the way she
speaks,
speaks,
the wheel.
she is not afraid of reaping her rewards here and not in heaven, so to speak.
That makes sense. Very much so.
And I will say this is the moment of the service where people are literally standing up and almost reaching out to her as if she is some kind of medieval saint, as she is starting to put her hands on people's foreheads and they are literally starting to pass out and convulse and speak in tongues, and people are weeping and almost tearing at their hair and their clothes as they are coming to her with their sickness and their lack of medical care, and hoping that the Spirit of God will invigorate them and heal them and bring upon a new kingdom here in Crucifixion.
Concerning.
Technically, Chi-Ji, we don't know that her sister wrote that part or if she tacked that on later.
Which part?
The give me your money and let's kill Catholics.
This what?
So what are you all doing here as this worship service is reaching its frenzy?
Mortifying. This is extraordinarily super bad.
Kinda.
And I'm trying to figure out how does this interlock with getting fucking trains to get these people out of town, because she's gonna get people killed on both sides.
You would recall, though, that some of these people are living on land that they want, and some people might be holding on to dear Grandpappy's farm a little harder, even when money's being waved a little bit in front of their faces. Because how are you reacting to the whole thing as people are going up and getting their foreheads slammed against with the palm of Miss Marigold's hand?
You know what, Josh? I'm starting to see why you build a cult every time. Sometimes it's just the easiest way to do things.
It's the most effective. You can't.
Political parties.
Yeah.
Corporate culture. They're all cults with different names.
I was debating whether to use his naming ability to make her shirt say, or garment say, liar across it.
You're about to perform a miracle.
To perform a miracle in church.
Hey, honestly, do it. Super good for glamour right now.
Oh, but the one thing. Would I gain glamour though? I would probably lose glamour. But
actually, we probably could just reap this. That might be a good idea.
Are you guys going to try reaping some of these people?
I don't know. Maybe.
Or what?
You might be able. You might be able to, depending on what you have as your ravaging.
Wait, what are we doing?
It's no. I don't know if Hutch would necessarily do it. But we might be able to. It's a ravaging musing threshold. It would technically be neither. I think it would fall under reverie.
I go on stage ooh woo, and just walk away. That's the stupidest thing. Adam would do it, but Tinkerton wanted to.
Is everyone standing at this point?
I would say mostly everybody. Everybody, perhaps, except for the people that you're kind of sitting up front with, who are kind of starting to file their way out.
Interesting. Oh wait, so they're just leaving, right?
Yeah, basically, the official "let's get seen at church" part of service is over, and now the come up to the front and have somebody smack your sickness away part is happening.
Yeah, I think I should just put liar on her dress. The power of names.
Do it. I want to see what Josh does with this.
I'm trying to decide what I want to do. So,
Adam, is that what you wish to do?
It is what I wish.
Is it what you're going to do?
I would only
do it.
There's a way to bring back glamour for me, but let's go for it.
Yeah, unfortunately, this isn't as good for glamour as I thought. We can get glamour by acting in accordance with their fundamental nature. I didn't know that. I thought it was just willpower. Inspire mortals. We unite our fairy halves and our normal selves. We straight up rip it out of people, or we can make people explode with creativity, and they never create again.
You can literally suck all the magic that anybody will ever have in their whole life and just leave them like a desiccated Capri Sun.
Oh, Mary Gold.
Well, no, she doesn't have any. That's the point. It's her sister.
Oh, yeah, true story, yeah.
Although,
No, don't do that to my sister.
She did have a weird performance, though, so she does have some glamour.
oh man, I would make an amazing unseelie she. We just fucking whammy her, and Mary Gold would never be able to fucking create again. But I'm Sealy. I have to be lawful good.
Yeah.
Adam, are you the big giant prick?
Oh,
All right, Adam. How are you going to use your fairy magic here?
If he won't do it, I will.
no. I kind of like I'm gonna cut my wrist a little bit, and then like throw it into the crowd, and spout liar, but like in a I'm not if she just the right word, like change my voice a bit so it doesn't sound like me.
You want to make it so that God calls her a liar. You know what? I'm okay with this. I want to see this happen.
All right.
Welcome to my world, Josh. Somebody did something completely stupid. Your move.
I'm trying to figure out how to adjudicate this with rolls.
I mean, you could always just decide not to do the roll and just do whatever you think is fun.
I know, but there has to be an element of chance in this scenario.
That's fair.
I need to see if Adam can get away with this, or if he's going to be torn apart limb by limb by frothing at the mouth evangelicals.
Who's your next character going to be?
They have to catch him first. He's got dexterous toes. Those could be dangerous.
That's like having 10 legs.
Wanna do a JoJo pose?
So you're going to cut yourself, try to whip the blood at her from the crowd, and yell liar, right?
Yeah, but yeah.
I will give you the disguise roll first and ask for a...
Something salsa.
No, I was going to say a manipulation performance at a difficulty 9.
Okay, I have manipulation. I don't have performance. Let's see. And I'm using the Onyx dice app, everyone. So those that don't have a dice roller like Chaz, thanks to HCG, you can use the Onyx.
I told you I'm going to give you one. You don't have to talk about me like I'm the goddamn fucking.
No, it's like one of the viewers
patriarchy over here oppressing you.
But one of the viewers want me to do the ad read for that.
Okay.
I read the chat, Chaz. That's my subtitles. Okay.
Josh, is it metagaming to tell Adam that he has a willpower stat?
No, but he hasn't asked for it.
But I won't tell him anyway because it's funnier this way.
I think I used willpower last time, but I can't remember if I did. I did get one success without the thing. I got 1-9. 2 and a 5.
You got a 9, a 2, and a 5.
Yeah. I can do the Raid Shadow Legends HCG. That's out of my expertise.
So trying to lose yourself in the frenzy of the massing crowd that is coming to Miss Marigold for spiritual and sometimes literally physical healing. You dig your thumb into one of your hands as you flick the blood at her and yell, liar! Alright, now do the fairy roll at him.
Okay. It's going to be proper.
Okay.
So, it's going to go. I can't remember what the roll is. Parade. Is it just primer pop or? I don't remember. Let me see. Un momento. While I search this. No.
If this succeeds, I might have to throw bits out.
It's so nice for you to offer to pay for his funeral, Von Morrison.
No.
Oh, I didn't see Hot Trash Gaming's put an upside down cross on her forehead.
Yeah. But that's cheating, though. I can't go back and do that. I could put a what's called a 5-pointed star upside down, though.
I'm not sure the inverted cross would have as much meaning at this point as it will, like in the 70s. People might still think it's the St. Peter's cross.
Yeah, why is that evil now? Do you happen to know the history behind that? I just assume that people stopped liking Catholics, and that's how that happened.
I read an article about it once, but it's been a while. But I think basically, the Church of Satan started to use it as a symbol, in addition to like their pentagram with the goat's head in it, as like an inversion of Christianity. But the inverted cross had existed in Catholicism for a while as St. Peter's cross as a symbol of humility.
Right.
All right, Adam. Give us your Magic Man roll.
I found the page, but I can't. I don't know where to roll. Where?
All right, well, Adam's looking for that. Chaz, can you describe to the audience what you think is the most likely way a mob of ravenous Christians would tear apart somebody?
Dogpile and just grasping, like Black Friday, like a bunch of Karens at Black Friday, but taken to the nth and at a murderous pitch because they were already just at like the throes of religious fervor.
Where?
There's still a possibility.
So you're spending a point of glamour, Adam.
Yeah,
you know that's happening.
Oh,
yeah.
true.
And
Yeah,
then
Yorkie's got a point. He could just get lynched, but again, I think the visceral just grabbing and tearing is a lot more likely in this particular scenario. Of sound mind, sure.
All right, the next is the activation roll, Adam.
No. Where is it though? It's on page 211/212. But I am.
So basically, roll the dice to see if they succeed. With your you're using what prop and what?
That's what I'm wondering. Prop. I'm trying to think it's prop and what else though, but I can't tell. Oh, but the other one is I think it's naming though, but I don't know if it's just naming.
Okay, they're trying to permanently mark it with something, right?
Yeah.
So you're rolling prop naming and trying to see if it activates. And you do your bunk, it goes down to a difficulty 7.
Cool. And I shall also use the willpower, so I don't die at the mob. Hopefully, yeah.
You're using willpower on the magic activation roll, right?
Yes. So.
Okay. So give us that dice roll, Adam.
5 dice, difficulty 7. Okay, almost botched, but I got a 10 in there, so I'm good. Got 2 successes. Plus the willpower success, if that counts.
So 3 successes, Adam. How long does your blood stain last on her clothes?
Oh shit, that's gonna be. I know that. That one is 3 successes. It's gonna be a week.
So by next Sunday, she'll be good.
Yeah, but I can do it again.
What's
every
up?
time you speak
Every time. You're going to have to get good at being sneaky, Adam.
Yeah.
Who is the guy that keeps doing that? Weird.
No.
So as you guys watch these desperate people in the throes of a near orgiastic frenzy as they are reaching out to this woman, you hear, "Liar! as blood literally splatters across the front of her white gown and spells out liar as she looks down, and you see her eyes kind of grow wide, and you can see that look of bloodshot rage starting to creep into the corners of her eyes as you can swear you see like a vein pulsing in her forehead.
Do I know that Kazaa was behind this? He just no.
But you can assume the fact that a blood splatter managed to literally spell out a full word, that there is perhaps some magic at work, and you can swear that as the room grows silent, you can hear the sand starting to kick up and whirl around, and you hear the whispering that you heard last time as he first started to come into the city, as the sand coalesced into a face.
Ooh.
And I will say we will leave it there.
Ooh.
Oh shit!
Ooh. Masterful, Josh. Masterful.
Fun.
I didn't die. Not yet. That's all I did.
You get a stay of execution.
And I will award you all 2 experience, as you all may start casting your vote to see who do you think is getting the bonus XP,
Adam.
as well as the chat.
I will also give it to Adam.
Oh, not give it to myself because that's cheating it.
I mean, Tom's not here to yell at you.
And how much XP do we get?
2.
We all get 2. Hmm.
Two XP a session, how very V5 of you, Josh.
What's up?
2 XP a session, how very V5 of you, Josh.
Some interesting things are happening, but it's not quite I will say it's more things are being made to happen as compared to plot points, I will say. But it is definitely very interesting. So far, Adam, I believe, has 3 votes. In addition, Chaz, did you also vote for him?
I voted for him first.
Well, I'm glad I didn't leave the church. I was planning on leaving the church to follow people, but never mind.
All right,
Yeah,
so
you're
far,
right. This is
Adam
going to
has
be a good show.
5 votes. And I'm assuming the video from last week isn't up yet, so we don't have a viewer vote yet.
Yeah, I fucked up. I'm sorry. I'll put them. I'll put these
Worry
2
about it.
both up before the next one goes up.
Which
It's been
is
a hell of
when,
a couple
Josh?
weeks.
So with our XP, like, how do we? I don't know.
Oh,
There's a chart that'll tell you the things you can spend it on.
yes,
So
my dear sweet
what-
summer child. What are you looking to increase? Like, what would you like more dots in?
Did you want to basically buy the ability to start creating water?
Yeah, that'd be nice. I'm not sure what else I want to like increase right now, but I would like to know how to do that for when I know.
So basically, it is your current level times a number, and that number depends on what it is you're trying to increase.
Okay.
So the most amount of the most amount of XP you'll usually spend is either upgrading your attributes, so things like your strength, dexterity, appearance, charisma. I think that's usually the amount of dots you currently have times 7, or actually it might be times 5.
If you want to look at those at 176, the page number.
Well,
Did I
thank you.
get it earlier?
Because I actually don't know what level I am. So.
There's no levels in this game.
Oh,
Just XP.
okay.
You
Good.
can spend your XP before or after any session.
Okay, how much XP per dot though, or does it?
It's on page 176.
It depends on what you want to increase.
Gotcha.
So I don't think any more votes are going to come in. So Adam, you're going to get the bonus XP this time around.
But I haven't voted yet. Sitting that. I went through it all under sitting there.
Who are you going to vote for, Adam?
I'm trying to. No, you put me on the spot. It's kidding. I put myself on the spot. Give it a chance for trying to be gentlemanly.
With what?
Like,
I took you to
I'm
church
trying
and called Enva a prostitute.
We're not calling her a prostitute, but the lady of the night.
I mean, arguably, Sluas typically are ladies of the night, or men of the night,
Yeah.
or people of the night, if you will.
We're just in the shadows constantly. It's fine.
Once again, I don't think I did diddly dick this session, which I'm good with.
I also feel like I haven't done anything, but that's fine.
Oh no, you've been super helpful. Like honestly, grabbing that letter was probably a.
Oh, I thought you meant in this one in particular.
I mean, you're still doing great just being here.
All right.
Oh, bold of you
Next
to assume
time.
she doesn't make my life a living hell regardless.
True.
Maybe I'm the one getting back at her, Von Morrison.
Probably.
I'm kidding. You're an angel. I adore you.
Uh-huh. Keep up the charade. That's fine.
So join us next time as we see whether or not Adam will get torn apart by a mob of angry Christians.
I think it's me next week.
Yes.
I suppose that is fair. We get to see what
this
happens.
week. This week has 5 Wednesdays.
Oh, this month?
I mean, this month has 5 Wednesdays, not this week. This week is not nothing but Wednesdays, my dudes.
He just wants, there's a lot of Wednesdays for.
He just wants the whip again.
Buddy, who do you think holds the whip?
True story. I think he
So I'm glad you liked the session.
It is fun.
Oh man, this is hard. Like, this is good. This is really good.
I'm ready to toss my cat.
We're going to go into battle.
Like a little fur cannonball.
So will it be They Came From Beneath the Sea next week, Chaz?
Yeah, we're gonna keep doing Le Buble, and at some point we're gonna have to sit down and figure out what we're gonna do after that. But nah, I've still got plenty of They Came to go. If you guys are enjoying that.
I was going to say, I'm still going to be running Changeling until this portion of the Chronicle at least comes to a good natural conclusion. But I have been thinking of playing the Witcher video games on some off days, and perhaps leading that up to running like a one-shot of the Witcher RPG or something.
Oh, that'd be dope. We do have it. Like, we own the RPG in our drive-thru, so by all means.
If anybody would be interested in that, let us know. Join the Discord.
Oh yeah, you should join us regardless in the Discord.
All right, that's one yes so far. Yusuf wants me to play Witcher 1 through 3. I guess I have to now.
Oh, good, Yusuf. Why do you hate Josh? All right, look. The Witcher 1 is a fucking abortion of a video game. Has anybody played it besides me?
I played it.
I played through part of it. I never finished it, which is why I want to replay
Yeah,
1 through 3.
I finished it. I sat through it. Oh no, you can kiss my ass this time, Yusuf. I'll defer to you on a lot of stuff. The Witcher 1 is a dumpster fire, and they fucking know it's a dumpster fire, which is why it goes on sale for $2. Nobody wants to play The Witcher 1. They made a combat action RPG with the fucking Baldur's Gate fucking Dragon Age pause system, cause that fucking works. And there's 2 fucking camera systems. You either get over the shoulder camera system, so you can't see any of the enemies that surround you behind you, or you get a dumb fuck faux Diablo control system, so Geralt can jump like an asshole and not actually dodge anything.
It's too.
And the
It's
swamp.
14 years old, you fucking.
There's challenges.
You can kiss. Okay, you kiss my ass, dude. Like, seriously. How old is Baldur's Gate? How old is Planescape Torment? How old is Morrowind? 14 years old. Get the fuck out of here. No, that's not an excuse. It was a shit game 14 years ago and it's a shit game today. Josh, have you played it to the swamp?
No.
The swamp is an abortion of game design.
The swamp is ass.
It is the largest.
Is it worse than Bloodline Sewers?
Yes.
Is that what they call it? Is that what they call it? Swamp ass?
I would rather run through Bloodline sewers cleaning it with my tongue IRL than run through the swamp. It is the single largest portion of the game world. You are constantly bombarded by monsters the whole fucking way, to the point where you don't even have time to put your sword away. Geralt, why do I keep calling him Gerard? I'm mad. That's why I keep calling him Gerard. Just runs across the map like this half the time. Your quest markers are deliberately on opposite sides of the fucking swamp, and it's a mess. It's a mess. It's deliberately put in to pad the game. And mind you, did you like the Witcher books, Josh? Did you enjoy reading The Witcher? Well, you're gonna hate the entire last part of The Witcher 1, because that thing jumped the shark harder than a fucking fawns on a trampoline. Skip The Witcher 1. The fucking fight with Princess Ada. You remember how badass that fight was in the Netflix special where there's like the silver chain? You remember how bad it was on the opening cutscene? You know how that fight goes in the video game? You literally have to run around and avoid Ada for, I think it's like 5 minutes, for her to turn to get the good ending and her to turn back into the chick. You can't hit her. You might be able to push her away with Ard, but she's not fast enough to catch up to you, so you literally just run around the coffin like an asshole for 5 seconds. The game is awful.
I'm sorry, Chess, but I will defer to Yusuf and say I need to get the full experience, and I will play The Witcher 1.
You know what? You're right, Josh. I guess if you don't put a nail through your dick, you don't get the full experience of carpentry. So you can be my guest.
I'm fucking done. I'm just dying.
Like, Witcher 2 is so much better. It is on every fucking level. You can't. They knew they fucked up with Witcher 1. There's no way. It didn't even get a console port. That's how bad it was. They were going to port it to console, and eventually they're just like, no, fuck it.
And we're getting raided right as we're signing off.
Hey, Pengu-chan, thanks for following. Mr. Kapow, thanks for the raid.
In the middle of a rage. I love it.
I wish you guys were here a couple minutes ago, because we're about to raid somebody else, but hey.
Hello.
Hello, guys. Hello.
Thank you all for tuning in, but regrettably we are just about to sign off, as we have just finished our Changeling the Dreaming Dustbowl Blue session, but we will be back soon.
No, I finished it, and like, here's the thing. Here's like legitimately about Witcher 1, like, you can tell that they really did care. The writing is amazing up until that ending. The ending is a dumpster fire, but the writing is truly amazing, and that's what kept me going. That's what kept me playing so much, because I had to see what happened. But the actual act of playing the game is torment. Oh, also, the system of options, or how can I put it? The cause doesn't really seem to justify the effect, so half of the gameplay is going, well, gee, how is this going to fuck me over?
Reach Psych says that he fell asleep during the intro for the scene in Witcher 1.
No, I finished, my dude. I dragged myself through that bed of nails and broken glass. All right, you probably had the best experience.
Yeah. But those of you who are just tuning in, if you want to catch up on our Changeling sessions, we have them up on our YouTube channel.
Yeah, this will be up for 2 weeks, and then we will have all of our games up on youtube.com/caffeinatedconquests.
But good night, everybody. Right. And have sweet Changeling dreams.
Oh, wait, hang on. We should raid real quick before we get off.
Nice. Send forth the law.
Okay.
Pengu says, hope she doesn't sound creepy here, but Chaz, you are very squishable. And in parentheses, she says this asexual's version of a crush.
Oh, why? Thank you. I'm deeply honored. Let's see. What do you guys think? Somebody is streaming D&D 4th edition, and I don't know why they're not streaming it under the D&D tag, but I'm tempted just to raid them. What do you guys say? Or
Von Morrison, thank you for the 100 bits. Chaz, love that rant, and I think I'm having a religious experience.
Thank you, Vaughn. I appreciate it.
So were all those people in that church that Adam's about to start a frenzy at?
What have we read ourselves?
Church frenzy.
All right. So if there is no objections, I'm going to raid Daily Dale.
No.
I'm excited for the church chaos.
Cannot raid that.
They said no.
Is it no? We could read ourselves. Promote
Your
our
very viewers.
Yeah. Give ourselves the viewers, yes. Let's see. There's nothing really in D&D either that's...
We're going to raid our Portuguese werewolf, the Apocalypse friends.
I do love me some werewolf. Did
Werewolf
you finish
is
playing the video game, Jess?
No, dude. I honestly, my
Another
let's not do another rant. We'll save that for next Changeling. Game reviews with Chaz. Bye, everybody. We love you.
Good night, everybody.
Bye.
Bye, nerds. Stay caffeinated.